Welcome back to Betrayal on Betrayal, the D&D series that has now featured both a dungeon and a dragon. I am your Dungeon Master Jay, and joining me today, leapfrogging into action, Sylvia as Marie, wandering onto the battlefield, Annie as Arabella. They only get better from here. No longer dragging his feet, Matt as Cabal, and ready for any possibility, Ed as 3.
I've lost the will to live.
When we last saw our adventurers, they had been dropped off by Canry, the head tactician of the Oliviana military, with the job to clear out the Phelderbrik mine from all kobolds. After about an hour-long discussion of how they thought they would do that, they eventually made their way up to the mine. Pretended they were health inspectors and had a good look around the place. The kobolds didn't necessarily fall for their little deception. They caved them in, they made their way through the mine, fought some bees, talked to a bear, and made their way to the center, where a young little dragon was resting in a small pool among with other kobolds. The group agreed to help the dragon get rid of an orcish camp nearby in exchange for the dragon and kobolds vacating the mine for them. And that is where we shall pick up for today's session. Between sessions, for the purpose of brevity, I sent out to the gang all the resources that this kobold mine have available to them, but I'll just quickly recap it. They have about 50 worker kobolds, along with 7 fighter kobolds and 1 dragon shield, which is the one that's specifically dedicated to looking after the dragon of this tribe. We also have Ekru, who is the silver dragon that you guys have befriended. They have about 15 sticks of dynamite, which you guys were all absolutely ravenous for last session. They also, among the mushroom kind of cave that you guys went through, they have a set of different useful mushrooms: poison, sleep, and ones that kind of cause hallucinations. And they also have 2 potions of healings that they may potentially give to you, unless you want to bring the kobolds into a big battle. In that case, they'll want it for themselves. With that all caught up, what would you guys like to do?
I feel like we need a plan of some description. If we're going to, raid an entire village, I feel like we should be clever about it. I mean, I'm not very well versed in the art of war, but I understand some preparation is required generally. Do the kobolds provide food to the orcs, or do they hunt their own?
The orcs hunt for themselves, yeah.
Oh, that would have been a really good way to poison them.
Essentially, the kobolds have informed you guys that the town of Phelderbrik isn't necessarily being used as a home base. It's used more of kind of a stopping point on orcish raids, along with a place to build and resource more weapons for them. So it's kind of a constant flow of orcs coming in, bringing food, treasures, and stuff like that. But the one constant is their war chief that is usually kind of camped out somewhere among the town.
Just have to make it so that coming to the village is not worth what they would get out of it, which is magic weapons and whatnot. We have to make it more trouble for them.
I like that idea primarily because that means that we've got more of an objective than actually just going to war and taking back the town.
And Cabal picks up one of the dynamite things and flips it around. He's like, "How about just terrorism? We can blow somewhere up."
Yeah.
I know. I'm game for terror. If we go back to the idea of destroying the forge, then they've got really nothing to stay in the town for, right? And we should try and re-kidnap that dwarf who's making weapons for them, because he probably A, doesn't want to do that, and B, is one of the major reasons that they're there.
Do we know where he's likely to be held? Is it near the war chief? Could we kill 2 birds with 1 stone, or rather 1 bird and rescue another bird?
Well, I'm assuming most of the time he's in the forge, if they've got him working.
We could check out the forge, spirit him away under darkness, and blow it up. It'll look like he's just exploded.
Yeah, that's a good idea, especially if they're not going to come looking for him. That's an added bonus. We're engaging in a war of attrition at this point, which is fine by me. We'll just put it in my planner.
Absolutely sure that just, talking to them is off the table?
Have you talked to many orcs? 3.
No.
My understanding is they're not taken to reasonable debate.
Well, that remains to be seen. I'm with 3 on that respect. Like, I mean, it's not like we've really had conversations with orcs per se. And like, as far as I'm concerned, like, not many people talk to Grung either. And it's like, they just assume that we're dumb, like, swamp folk that hop around in trees and play harmonicas, which I do, but that's besides the point. Really.
I'm not saying that they're all unreasonable brutes. I'm just saying that, in fact, they're not stupid, and we have nothing to offer them to negotiate with them to get them to leave. But basically, all we can do is threaten them, and that's just going to lead to open warfare, surely.
Cabal wants to offer to threaten them and then remembers the 2 kobolds who just weren't bothered by him.
We can do this sneakily without actually harming anyone apart from possibly one orc. And even then, if we blow up the forge and take the dwarf, they might just leave anyway.
We take the minecart track in to a degree to kind of save some time. I don't know if we're on a time limit here.
You would...
The world's ending, but otherwise no.
Like, you're not on a specific time limit, but also last session Arabella did destroy part of the minecart, so resources won't be going to the orcish camp.
Oh, yeah.
So hypothetically, that there's the small time limit of when they're kind of like, hold up, there's nothing coming.
Just wanted to crush something.
It was very cool. I was impressed.
Thank you.
What about their other prisoner, the kobold?
The kobolds did inform you that one of their camp, a character called Pi Gecko, has been taken capture, and he's currently being made to entertain the orcs within the tavern.
That's a tricky one, because on the one hand, it might kill him if they decide to leave, but on the other hand, if we take him, they might blame him and the kobolds for things.
Don't worry, I will give Party Gecko all the consideration he deserves. I say loudly and performatively for the kobolds.
No, but I'm worried that if the forge blows up and also Party Gecko disappears, they might point fingers. Do you see where I'm coming from?
I would certainly link the forge getting destroyed back to the kobolds.
Is his first name Party? Was he named that?
Do you want to ask for someone?
Not enough to ask that question out loud in seriousness to somebody.
Okay, yeah. So we're definitely taking the dynamite, sneaking into the forge. We've got that far. We're blowing up the forge. We're retrieving the dwarf. We're hoping that that's enough incentive to make them, leave.
Yeah.
How do we sneak into a town full of orcs then?
Carefully.
We could use the kobolds as a distraction.
What kind of distraction?
Strike.
Or like they attack the...
No, I was thinking more of a peaceful protest type deal.
I feel like protesting might get them in trouble.
Yeah.
Would we know if orcs would likely fear a dragon, given we have a dragon?
They killed a real dragon.
Yeah.
The war chief killed.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Akru's mother.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to be able to convince Akru to really face their mother's killers.
Akru is open to going and murdering the war chief. Like, Akru, the main reward of this whole scenario, like the reason why she's just not bailing today under the cover of nighttime, is she's getting ready to go kill the war chief. This is just speeding it along.
So we should also factor that into our list of objectives.
What if Party Gecko is our way in.
If you even suggest dressing up like Party Gecko, I will go for it.
Heaven forbid. Although it does involve claiming that we are affiliates of the Party Gecko.
I hate it already. Go on.
Like solicitors or like?
We represent Party Gecko's advertising.
We're his lawyers.
We're
That
its
worked out
legal
great
team.
for us. But we pretend to be
I was fellow troubadours, yes. Marie can walk a walk.
I can walk a walk.
You
3.
can play the harmonica as well.
I can.
Number looks very funny. Do a flip. Can you do a flip?
Can I try and do a flip?
Yeah, go. Make an acrobatic.
That's a 23.
Yeah, that's a good flip. That's like even a cool like little pose landing.
Smile broadly as he laughs.
See? A born tumbler.
And me and you, giant scaly man,
I'll
an
be-
elderly human lady.
I'll be a dog.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I could be a dancing dog.
Can you effectively dance as a dog, or is it...
I've got 2 wild shapes left today. Yeah. Are we gonna take a nap before we do this?
I think we have time for that.
Cool. I'd like to wild shape into a dog and attempt to dance, please.
All right. Yeah, that would be a performance check as a dog.
Cool. That's a -1 to that. Natural 1.
So is that a 0?
Yeah, technically that's a dirty 0.
So you watch Cabell wild shape into a dog, kind of start to try and get up onto his hind legs to do a little jig, loses his balance and falls onto his back.
And just stays there.
I mean,
not
I'm
a
entertained.
Yeah. It's not a performance, but I can send people to sleep from like 90 feet away.
That sounds helpful.
Yeah. And Marie, you've got a bow, don't you? Could we not use the sleep mushrooms and create poison coatings for your arrows?
Yeah. I mean, the unfortunately, the optics of an arrow would imply that they are being attacked, which would raise some alarms, maybe.
Not if they're
your
asleep.
sleep spell makes. I guess not. If we if we can find some and kind of select specific guards one by one to take out that won't cause suspicion, then that's a good idea. I'll do that.
Yeah, just to get into the center of town, get to that little forge.
Yeah.
Possibly make the War Master go to sleep and bring him back to Ekru, because I think we owe her. Okay. So we stealth our way in. We make people go to sleep who we can't stealth past. We nick the dwarf. We also ideally nick the war chief. We carry them back with us. Then we blow up the forge. We give the dragon revenge. We save the dwarf. The orcs leave. Everyone's happy. And there is almost no bloodshed.
If all goes to plan, that does sound fair.
Perfect.
Let's do that then.
I like that idea.
I think so.
Alright, is there any prep work you want to do before setting off? Like Kibel said, I assume you want a short rest at least before heading down.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So, Marie, do you want some sleep coatings for your arrows?
Yeah, I'll spend a bit just kind of
Yeah.
I
mulching
know
them.
we've got dynamite, but do we have gunpowder and something to start a fire? Because we'll want to remotely trigger all the dynamite at the same time, right?
The cobalt mining technique isn't as elegant as that. They literally have just the red sticks with TNT written on with a relatively long fuse on the top. Because what they do is they literally just light it, chuck it down the hole, and duck behind something large.
That's okay. I'm assuming either Marie or I with magic missile could probably trigger them from a distance.
Well, if we're throwing into the forge as well, assumedly the forge is lit, and
You'd be able to set them up around the place, and then the last one you'd chuck in, which
Yeah.
would presumably set
Trigger
off
the
enough
rest of
explosive force to trigger the others.
Yeah, that's a good
That's-
idea. Okay, stealth operation. Love it. Terrible at that.
I would like to ask some of the kobolds what the nature of Party Gecko's act, so that if we're caught or questioned,
Yeah.
I can know more about him than his name.
Yeah, of course. So Teg, the kobold you were with the other day, he's like, oh, Party Gecko, he's an absolute delight at parties. You see, he does this thing where he gets two rocks and he knocks them together in this rhythmic beat. Then he jumps around from table to table doing a little jig. And he's a delight. It's a real shame he can't be with us right now. He would really help group morale.
We'll try. We'll try and make sure you can all guffaw at his capering once more.
Listen more every day.
Cabal is just going to slowly distance himself.
Cabal's greatest fears, displays of emotion.
Is there anything else anyone wants to do while because obviously we've got sleep poisons being made. I'll have a few of the kobolds will help you out with that. They can make about 10 shots worth in the space of a short rest. They managed to squeeze out extract of these mushrooms into little vials and cork them all up and hand them over. You guys wanting to take the 2 potions as well, because they're willing to give you them as long as you don't bring any kobolds with you on your quest.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, cool.
If we've got 2 healing potions, would you mind if I took one of them? Because even my max hit points, I'm feeling bad. I don't mind who wants the other. I feel a little vulnerable, you know. Yeah, who's taking the dynamite too? Who's the least likely to get hit?
I'm pretty easy to hit, but I'm also pretty fast as far as things go.
Yeah, you can take it then.
And if it all goes to pot, I can I don't know. I'll just run along the ceiling and you can shoot me.
You should take the other healing potion as well, then.
If you guys make me describe what 15 pieces of dynamite going off on a frog's back is like, I am going to cry.
Yeah,
This is why we play D&D.
Are you guys aiming to go under the cover of nighttime then, if you're looking for stealth, or are you going daytime-wise?
Are orcs? Can I make a history check to determine whether or not they exist on normal sleep cycles, or whether they're? I mean, I don't think orcs are nocturnal, but just can I make a history check anyway? 15.
Orcs are a race that have dark vision, so they are built to hunting in the nighttime in order to, kind of take people by surprise and whatnot, but they are also prone to going out in the daytime to try and catch merchant little caravans going from place to place, so it kind of depends from orc to orc.
I'm gonna say daytime then, because if the orcs have dark vision, they've already. I don't know which of you guys have dark vision. It's not all of us, is it?
I don't think I do.
I got it.
Yeah, so there's no reason to go at night when all of them can see and only 2 of us can. Day might be better.
I'm okay with that.
Awesome. So you guys kind of you wait it out in the little pool area until morning comes, and I assume you head straight out.
Yeah, I think we're just walking then, because somebody broke the mine track. Jeez.
How long does it take to get from where we are to
It's about
there?
It's about a half-hour walk.
Okay, in that case, just after we set off, I would like to draw my staff sort of around everybody and shush them and cast Pass Without Trace on everybody. So for the next hour, everyone's got a +10 to stealth.
Oh, thank
checks.
goodness.
Nice.
I love it.
And we cannot be tracked except by magical means.
Awesome. In that case, seeing as you guys are starting to stealth the entire route down, can I get stealth checks for you now?
Yeah.
Yep.
29 from me.
It's over 30.
21.
25.
Awesome. So, like, as you step, just all remnants of where you walk just kind of fade away. You guys move kind of like almost with nature itself. You make your way down the cliff face. You kind of start to see Phelderbrik off in the distance. There's also another thing that you see as you're making your way down. There's a dead deer with an arrow stuck in its neck, and kind of like tending to it, taking like the pelt and whatnot, are two tabaxis, one older, one younger one. They do not notice you.
A 3 would just completely forget about the fact that we are supposed to be stealthing and just walk straight up to these guys.
Okay.
Oh!
They kind of like jump as you move into that space, because obviously for a second you were magically gone to them and now you're in their area. The older one kind of like steps up, draws her bow, and then her face softens as she sees you. She kind of loosens it again. You have never met this tabaxi before. They're not from your clan. They're a completely different pelt. She's going to look you in the eye and she's going to say, Ricky, oh my god. And she is going to move in and she is going to embrace you. And as she embraces you, she is going to say in your ear, I know you don't recognize me. My clan, we used to trade with your clan when, and you were just a child when I first met you. But it's so good to know that someone made it out. I mean, it's just so good to see you. She's going to step back again.
I think 3 would just like kind of take a second to like try and process what he's just been told. Do you know what happened to them?
I'm afraid not. By the time we found what remained, it was all gone. Paladins had already made their rounds. They had inspected the area and they had cleared out everything from the space. I'm sorry. If we could have helped in any way, we would have. It's beautiful to know that part of the bloodline still goes on.
Okay. What's your name?
My name's Destiny.
Cool. We're these are my friends, and we're gonna go and help some orcs fight some, help some. There's kobolds. We're not. And then
she is going to look among your new allies and look back to you and just be like, you've made an interesting group of friends for yourself, haven't you? And she's going to lean in again and she is going to say something to you in your native tongue.
Okay.
She leans back and is like, well, it is a pleasure to make all of your acquaintances. Take good care of 3. He's a good boy. If you need anything, I'm actually teaching my daughter to hunt in this area, so I will be among the forest, and I'll keep an eye out for all of you if you need help.
Yes.
She's gonna put her hand on Free's shoulder and just be like, stay safe, and make sure you pick your friends wisely. And she is going to throw now rolled up pelt over her shoulders. The door is gonna kind of like push a bit of the meat into her satchel, and they are going to wrap it all up and head off in the forest.
I think 3 would just kind of linger for a second as they leave, and then
Cool.
just turn back to the party, being kind of noticeably
Anyone touching
more quiet.
reunions, or can we go crack on? Who were they?
I don't really know.
Well, they knew you.
They knew about my I think they were friends. Shall we?
Awesome. So you continue following the path alongside the minecart track. You eventually see Phelderbrik off in the distance. It is a kind of like, all the houses are quite small, quite humble. They're all built out of like cobblestone. You do see 2 orcs that stood kind of by the minecart track in the kind of like mouth into town, just keeping an eye out, each with a bow in hand. They of course don't notice you, wrapped up in the embrace of the wilderness like you are. What would you like to do?
I had a rough knowledge of the town. Yeah, the chief resides in the former's mayor's home, yeah. Did we want to go there first, or did we want to go to the forge first? I think we should go... Oh, I don't know. We could split up!
The DM's eyes widen.
Roll for psychic damage.
I think if we scope out the mansion first, given that what we intend to do at the forge will bring attention.
So we're dragging around the
However,
unconscious body of the war chief. That was my thought.
What about
Well, we can leave him in there unconscious.
And then just pick him up after
But
the
it's
explosion.
what about Party Gecko? He's in the tavern.
Can't keep track of
God,
all
you're
these
always
rest
talking
of
about party.
We could split up though.
I don't like our chances.
Jay's face there was just...
That's what true fear looks like.
I mean, like, 2 of us could go to the mayor's house to get the chief, and 2 of us could go to the mine to do the explosion. And then once the explosion happens, that'll probably give the 2 people who've gone to go and get the chief a pretty good way out.
I love the term of phrase of just get the chief, like...
We're gonna pick him up!
They're just a MacGuffin that's there to be obtained.
We're gonna knock him out and carry him off. There's no flaws with this plan.
Right, but he's an orc war chief.
Yeah, you say this like 2 of us would be able to just take the leader of an entire
We don't know.
orc and enslave
I have a
an
great deal
entire
of confidence in
mountain
us.
Arabella believes in Arabella. That's all I can ask for.
I'm just trying to decide whether this is enough D8s to knock him out. I'm not sure it is.
Just keep in mind that D8s can roll wands.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about that. Maybe we can soften him up for it first.
I would like to soften him up, please. Is that a persuasion check?
Okay, sure. We'll do one thing at a time. Let's go to the mansion first.
And the
Okay.
I noticed the tavern wasn't on the list.
Is Party Gecko another cat you know or something?
No, they were just the kobolds were kind of nice to us in the end. After they stopped trying to kill us with bees and bears and other traps.
I don't want to upset you 3. I feel like if you feel like we should prioritize Party Gecko, then we can prioritize Party Gecko.
Did you know that in Draconic, Party Gecko directly translates to bonus objective?
I mean, we're all looking for a high score, aren't we?
Completionist run.
Maybe save it for the second playthrough.
Yeah.
The new game plus.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just leave him here when they go.
Yeah, they might.
But we can head there immediately after we blow up the forge. Right? They'll all race to it. There'll be orcs clamoring in the area. Presumably, they're not going to say, "Hey, come along to this disaster site. We need you to caper around with your rocks."
Yeah.
Can I do an insight check to see if that's absolutely false?
I think the scenario of a kobold dancing around knocking rocks together with a burning forge in the backdrop is very cool, so
Sounds
Terrifying.
the 50-50 shot.
Wait, no, okay, so we go to the mansion, we knock out the war chief, or otherwise incapacitate him. We go to the forge, we blow up the forge, and in the ensuing confusion, we pick up the sleeping and/or otherwise incapacitated chief of the orcs, and then ideally we scoop up Party Gecko and we hightail it. Is that the plan?
That is the framework of the plan. It's more of a timeline than an actual plan when you think about it, but I'm very happy with that so far.
Alright,
like
let's
it.
go and see if we can find the mayor's house and also not get discovered by an entire village of orcs. This is just how it ends, isn't it?
We're on a mission from God. We'll be fine.
We don't know the layout. Like I could honestly like run up the wall and kind of scatter ahead a little bit.
Yeah, see if there's any large houses that stand out.
We'll have to keep sneaking up to where it is, because I imagine there'll be guards posted.
Cool. So, just run that by me. You're scaling town wall to have a little survey of the area.
That's a good idea.
Good idea.
Awesome. So, make your way up the cobblestone wall, head to the top. Phelderbrik's not necessarily the largest of town. It's sort of circular with a main road kind of running all the way around it, and then small roads kind of like knitting its way through. You see the minecart track that leads to the right for a bit, veers back into the center of this circle where there's a large kind of like circular area that has, you can see a forge with a dwarf chained working away. It's got a few other buildings kind of like in that circular area. There are 2 orcs posted keeping watch over that dwarf. To the right, a bit further along, you do see a very large house that appears to be a mansion. It's got like 2 floors. It's got a little gazebo out front. It's the whole deal. There aren't any orcs watching over there. There's no like guards or anything. You can also kind of make out the tavern. There's a building that has a sign-on called the Dizzy Dwarf. It's kind of more center town.
Right, I see.
Did we get the dwarf's name?
It's Daramol Allweaver.
I'll hop back down and just kind of divulge this to the it looks like, honestly, we've got a straight through till we get to the mansion, as long as we like kind of keep our heads about us. But
If we like go around the edge of the village, do you reckon you could tell us roughly where would be the closest point to enter to get to the mansion?
would I be able to kind of like map that out?
If you stayed on like the wall, potentially, you could walk your way around. They could follow you from the bottom, and then you could have the point on the wall that is the closest to the mansion, but it wouldn't have like an opening in the wall around the village.
Oh, so we're gonna have to scale it.
You'd have to scale it or go through the front entrance, which does have 2 orcs kind of posted on it.
I mean,
I'm keen on
does
that
anyone have a rope? I can just kind of up the
Um,
side and then just kind of drop one down if you like.
I've got a rope.
I don't.
I can climb as well, so you know I'm fine. It's just these 2.
Kamal's
I see,
tempted
that's
to wild shape into a cat, and then I'll take a rope.
The wall itself is only about 30 feet high or so, so it's not the worst thing you're ever going to have to scale.
Okay. Yeah, I'll.
Bit like the sound of that.
Do we have rope in like someone's?
Yeah, I'll clamber up the wall using my climbing speed and hand you the rope.
You could all climb up the rope that's been thrown down, and you managed to get to the top of the walls as well. You're all kind of posted. I mean, the mansion itself is a little bit further up, but it is pretty much a straight path from where you've climbed the wall.
Can we tell the center of the mansion faces towards us or away from us? Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Right, the front of the mansion.
Yeah, you can see if there's any doors. There's no doors on the side that's facing you, so you would assume it's the back of the mansion.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because we probably want to go in the back. I'm
Yeah.
assuming. Yeah, shall we try and like bust a window and go in that way? And I hope that he's at home. Maybe he'll be asleep already, you know, and we could just...
You guys, you make your way down the other side of the wall, throwing the rope down again, and then Marie and Free climbing their way down. You make your way kind of like through a small grassy area until you reach the back of the mansion. That's all the time we've got for this week's episode. But before you go, I just want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure you leave us a like if you like what you just saw, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss out on any of the adventure.